You're listening to the Kitchen Confession Podcast with Chef Mary MEE-CHef.
I love pockets. You'll see me like at like department stores just like taking pictures of pockets. People look at me like, sir, what are you doing? And I'm just like, don't worry, I'm just taking a photo. Yeah, like someone asked me to leave the other day. He's like, no, sir, like you can't take all these photos. I'm like, let me just see it. Like, I just want to see it. Like, you guys did something so awesome. This is so cool. And like, I'm admiring it. And like, you're not letting me. Like, what's the deal?
This is Kitchen Confession, and I'm Mary MEE-CHef.
Today I'm talking with the incredibly talented chef, designer, and founder of MEE-CHef, Mitchell Felice. MEE-CHef is the home of an innovative, unbelievably comfortable, and true-to-size chef apparel. This Canadian-made brand is leaving its mark in the culinary scene as one of the first of its kind. And without further ado, let me introduce and welcome Mitchell Felice. Hey, Mitch.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much for being here. When we were talking and through our conversations, I realized that we've just come full circle. So in 2012, Frank and I decided to get married, and we had the reception. Actually, the ceremony was at Felice restaurant.
Oh my God, I was definitely there.
And I think you catered my wedding.
Oh my God, I probably did.
That's
I would be
insane.
surprised.
So, and now we're full circle back here now. I'm interviewing you, and we had no idea up until I started really looking into everything and reading. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mitch catered my wedding.
Yeah, I definitely did. At that point,
But
I was
we had not
catering.
met.
I was catering like crazy for Tony at Elite Catering. Tony's my cousin at Elite Catering. So I started there in the kitchen there, and it was like he brought me up, like it was nuts, and probably the craziest, hardest place to work, but the best experience I've ever had in my life. Like it was truly an incredible place, and at that time it was like that was like the prime of my catering. So like that's all I did was catering. So it's definitely did your wedding for sure.
That is
for
crazy.
Sure.
So now that we know that we somehow met
Yes, I know.
years ago, back in 2012, and didn't even realize it. A little bit more about your culinary background.
So, well, my culinary background is I specialize more in Italian cuisine. So I am half Italian, half Portuguese, but pretty much spent all the years learning Italian food. And from there, specialized in, I guess, some of the most prestigious high-end catering events in the city, to top restaurants, worked at a private school, was a catering chef at the Toronto French School, which is another prestigious school in Toronto. And from there led to creating some of the most interesting chef apparel and aprons and kids lines, men's lines, women's lines, and making everything true to fit and tailored, and went from there.
Well, you mentioned, you've worked at Toronto International Film Festival, the Royal Ontario Museum. How does that differ from other events? So is it like a different culture than a restaurant when you're doing a catering event?
Well, it's definitely a different atmosphere. You're like basically cooking out of a hallway that's turned into a kitchen. Like they make it's so interesting. Like you go into the ROM and you're cooking around dinosaurs and stuff like that, and you can't touch anything.
It's gotta be wild.
Yeah, you can't touch anything, and you can't look at anything really, because it's priceless, priceless artifacts, and you can't, like, I remember one of my first times working at the ROM, they almost didn't want to let me in because I was carrying around a can of propane, and it was to torch creme brulees, but you can't bring propane into the ROM. So we had to sit there in the freezing cold at the -30 making creme brulees outside, and 300 pieces later, frozen fingers, burnt fingers. It was a good time.
You must have a lot of those stories of things that you kind of have to make shift and make do with the space that you're given.
Definitely, and there's a lot of things you can't say of what we've done, and the interesting nights and crazy people and clients, and just accommodating everybody. It's been definitely an eventful, I guess, upbringing of the culinary industry.
I mean, have you ever had those kind of clients where you're saying yes, but this is not possible, and you kind of make do with what you have?
Make it happen.
Yeah.
You just smile and keep moving.
And speaking of cooking and kitchens, if you could or would share a kitchen with any other chef, who would that be?
Probably Eric Pateman.
Really?
So Eric Pateman's probably like the most interesting Canadian influenced cuisine guy I've ever met. Like He did last year. He did the event that was called the Flight Across the Top of Canada, and basically it was like Canada's most interesting and most talented chefs brought together on this trip, and it was taken. I think they took about 60 people around the top of Canada, and they cooked in all these, I guess, regions and areas that were just rural and secluded, and they barely even had space for all these people to stay. Like people were staying in people's homes, and yeah, it was just incredible. And like there was a lot of companies that were a part of it, and like Canada Goose and stuff like that, and the Fairmonts, and now to this day I still watch what Eric's about, and we still keep in touch. And
what would you cook with him? Like if you had like
maybe like seal or something, like something Canadian and interesting. Like I think we had seal together the last time I was with him. We were tasting these seals from like they were kind of like a cured seal, and it essentially tasted like a tenderloin when it was cooked.
Really?
Yeah, it was like really red and like, I guess, iron tasting, like very like metallic, and it was really interesting.
Really? I don't think I could do that. I think
It was good.
for me,
I
it's
liked
what
it.
I know. It's what it's in my mind, what I'm eating. So because I know that and I'm aware of it, I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I could, but you're saying that it had more like a metallic taste?
Well, it almost had like a metallic finish, so like as if it were like extreme gamey. That's gamey.
Yeah.
That's all it really tasted like. It was nice. It was
And then
really
what,
nice.
they seared it or?
Yeah, so they seared all sides, and they had like a wild seal and they had like a farm seal, and you can definitely taste the difference. Like it was like night and day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would never have thought, honestly, that wouldn't have even crossed my mind to have seal. Okay, let's play a game. This or that.
The choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that.
I'm going to give you 2 words. You choose one. First one that comes to mind. Popcorn or chips?
Chips.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
I can't do the horror thing. Toilet paper, over or under?
Under.
See, you had me at comedy, lost me at under. Truth or dare?
Oh.
Truth or
Truth.
dare?
Truth.
You would do the truth? Brave, I tell you. Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Now, this is a hot topic. Do you wash your meat before cooking it?
Never. Never.
This is a divided question.
Never.
This is why
Don't
I'm
wash
laughing.
your meat. I don't understand why people do it. I think it's stupid. Why would you wash your meat? It's gross.
It's gross.
It's gross. Like people like put their chicken in the water. It's like, why is your chicken soaking in water? It's like, what are you making? Like an E. coli system? Like, what are you creating? This is gross.
Would you rub lemon on it?
No. Like people do that with turkeys, and I'm just like, what are you doing? My mom does that. I'm just like, what are you doing with the turkey?
Because I think it kills the.
It kills something.
I mean, so
You're like you're trying to make it cook with this acid. Like, what are you doing? You're drying out the skin. Like, I don't understand. Like, I look at her and she looks at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, whatever. Your turkeys come out great, but still.
but you're still looking at each other like who's
Yeah.
right, who's wrong.
Yeah.
So okay, your cooking style. If
Yes.
you can describe your cooking style in 2 words.
My cooking style is like a nunna meeting an 18-year-old inspiring chef. That's how I like to cook. It's like rustic and fun and flavorful and just simple, basic flavors that are just used with great ingredients.
That home cooking kind of feel to it.
Just natural flavors, nothing out of the ordinary, no fusion BS. It's just, for me, I spent 3 years making pasta at Paese, and it was like one of the most incredible experiences. Like, so peaceful. Like, you'd think like having so much pasta to make in a day is just like the worst thing in the world, because you just got to make like raviolis and linguinis and cavatellis and you name it, gnocchis, whatever. And I was just like, wow, this is like actually like calming for me. Like as a person that's very like ADD and everywhere, it was like, wow, I'm like, just put on music, put my headphones on, and I would just make pasta for hours.
So making pasta for you is like someone who enjoys knitting. They find it that calming
making pasta,
kind of.
making pizzas, for me, that is like my favorite things to do.
There's so many trends out today. What cooking trends are you really into right now?
Me personally, I'm all about like big barbecues, big smoke, like lots of flavor, bold flavors. Like right now I'm building a barbecue, so I'm building this huge Jamaican type pan drum barbecue that's like unnecessary, but I'm building this thing. And
then you need
basically
to speak to
I'm
Frank.
building all these attachments for it that you can like kind of do like a rotisserie and all this kind of stuff on it. Yeah.
Charcoal?
And like I built like these things. Oh, definitely charcoal. And I built these things that basically hold ribs sideways, so you can stack them and smoke them across this whole thing. And like, it's like 2-stage. And the next door neighbor, we're moving we're moving the business. He just cut down his cherry trees and stuff. So he just gave me all this cherry wood, and it just smells incredible.
When you decided to create MEE-CHef, what was it about the standard chef's jacket that drove you absolutely nuts, that made you wanted to start your own brand?
Starting my own brand, that really started as a young kid where I wanted to invent something. I wanted to create something that was just going to go worldwide and huge. Like that was the thought. Like I'm going to do this, create something that like everyone's going to need. And that was my whole trial and error of life. And it's been like that. And then I got into the whole chef thing. And that pretty much started as a kid where my mom's a pattern maker and designer, so she's been influencing the whole industry. I
love your mom.
Yeah, she's a super interesting lady, like runs her own business, super successful. And I've been around that since the beginning, where like she was working out of a basement and doing night and day, not stopping, not even making any money, but she was just grinding and pushing towards it. And I was pretty much taken around with her to all the factories, touching it. I touch everything. So I was touching fabrics, touching this, touching that, learning how to cut, learning how to sew, learning how to do all that. And there's a lot of clothing lines that I really like, and like a lot that I follow and stuff like that, and what they're doing and how they approach, I guess, their clientele and stuff like that. So inspiration for me is just like, I'll throw on an apron and just be like, okay, I'm gonna start cooking. And then I just kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. I kind of want a pocket here. I kind of want this there. And then I'll put it on people and go from there. But like, I love pockets, and like you'll see me like at like department stores just like taking pictures of pockets. And people look at me like, sir, what are you doing? And I'm just like, don't worry, I'm just taking a photo. Like
Of a pocket.
Yeah, like someone asked me to leave the other day. I'm like, whatever. Like I was at G-Star, and I'm like, I love G-Star. Like they do everything, like their fits right, their products right. Like I wear all their clothes. Like I love it.
See it on the news.
And then I was in there, and they had like this really cool apron on display. So I was like, hey, can I take it off the display and put it on and just like try this thing? And they're just like, no, sir, that's a display piece. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a bunch of photos. Like, no, sir, like you can't take all these photos. I'm like, let me just see it. Like I just want to see it. Like you guys did something so awesome. This is so cool. And like I'm admiring it, and like you're not letting me. Like, what's the deal? But whatever, I get it. Like
we're gonna see you on the news.
Yeah, you're gonna see me. Like, look at this guy.
Man gets escorted out for taking pocket photos.
Yeah, literally. And so it's like there's so much inspiration for me there. Like I love it. Like they do such cool stuff. And I follow like a lot of Hugo Boss and stuff like that, where it's clean and crisp, that look. Like I really love Hugo Boss's branding and stuff like that. So it's expensive taste, but I like it. When I was chefing, it was like you put on these chef jackets that were just like terrible. They're huge. The arms are big. The armholes are big. They just hang. They're like 3 sizes too big. And they just don't look appealing. You're working in places that are just like outstanding, and like you don't look as good as your food looks. And you're like what are you supposed to do? You know, like, and have some pride in yourself and what you're doing. So that for me, it was like, I'm gonna try and create something that's different and fit properly, because I had the background behind that and with my mom and all that. So we created these jackets for a barber, and the barber at the time, he's like, oh, this is fantastic, whatever. And then I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, let me make some for myself. So I made a bunch for myself. Then my friends see them. I put them on my friends. We changed things. We altered things. We had some fun with it. We made aprons. I made some stuff for some kids that were having a birthday. So I was like, okay, we'll make some jackets for a kid. And then it just like kind of took off from there. And then we implemented the women's line, and I just hated how women looked in chef clothing. And it was like,
it's pretty much that standard
make
look.
them look nice, you know? Like women don't have the same shape as the men. They want to be like accepted, I guess, in this male pushed industry.
Yeah, and I agree. So, I mean, I like to match what I'm feeling with what I'm wearing. So I'm always feeling like, I
Really,
want to
eh?
go do things.
Oh
and
my God.
So it's one of those things, honestly. So if I'm feeling like, I got this, I'm going to go kill this day, I'm wearing something that's going to kind of
Wearing a
give me
sombrero?
that. Yeah, I'll do that even, a sombrero. Definitely.
Having fun with it.
Yeah, just definitely something that kind of matches how I'm feeling that day. When you think of MEE-CHef,
Yes.
okay, what separates your brand from the others? So for me, separates MEE-CHef from the pack.
Well,
And again, we tapped into a little bit of that.
Yeah, we touched on a little bit. I find MEE-CHef, we control the whole process. So from meeting the client to guiding them to things that they like, to going back and forth with photos from their establishments, to like picking proper colors, accenting colors, figuring out their embroidery, locations. Like some places you go into and you're just like, oh, we have a tall, slender look, and we're like, okay, so we size them, do everything, and we'll custom design them, make things shorter for people that aren't as tall. And with us is that we've completely gone through processes where it's like trial error, retesting. We test shrinkage, we test like fits, we put them on multiple different people to see what's practical, what's working. We put them in chefs that are like working in some of the craziest environments to see like how it feels. Are they sweating? Is it actually moisture wicking? And some of the fabrics are actually designed to actually keep you a few degrees cooler. Like there's phase changing materials that we're working with, and that's what we're implementing for the future of MEE-CHef.
Right.
Like we're dealing with chefs that are like in extreme heat. So like it's 32 degrees outside, it's 42 degrees in the kitchen, like and it's still dry air, like they're just dripping sweat. You have to accommodate these things because that's the reality of it.
For people who don't know, what's the red light standard?
So red light standard is kind of our stamp of approval. This is our brand. This has gone through all the checkpoints, and you won't get anything that's an issue or anything. And if it is, it happens. It is what it is. We change it. We
stand by your products.
Well, yeah, we stand by it like 100%. I want to accommodate as much as possible, and like I want you to feel comfortable wearing it and buying it.
Absolutely, because I have my MEE-CHef apron, which I love. So I can attest to it fits phenomenally. The fabric on it is unbelievable. It's durable. The colors are unique. It's gone everywhere with me to different events and everything.
Yeah, it's funny how you say like the durability and everything. Like before I launch any new apron or anything like that, I'll give it to my local friends and I'll be like, here, wear this, check it out, wash it, like destroy it. Like I want you to destroy it and like test everything about it and let me know. And like I've gotten aprons back that look like, I don't know what they did to it, but like they got caught in the wash and just got destroyed. And I'm like, okay, that fabric's done, gone. And we phase it out right away before it hits anyone to see or whatever.
It's like, did you run over this a couple of times?
I know, like I have aprons at home where I literally like frame them because they're just like, this is ridiculous. How did somebody even possibly do this? And I'm just like, this is awesome.
So which is good to know because you actually test your products before they go out on the market.
We test everything. Like I've had products where like I've created a whole line and I hated it. And then because they've made a mistake with production or something's gone wrong or whatever, and I won't sell it.
Yeah.
I won't sell it. Like I'll just be like, no, I'm selling a great product or no product.
Do you have a personal favorite of the jackets or pants? Out of everything you've created, is there a personal favorite?
So right now, we actually just launched the Claremont jacket, which is a gray jacket. It's moisture wicking, same fabric as our pants. It has basically like a little bit of spandex in it. So it's got the stretch, got the fit.
Love me some spandex.
Yeah, we stepped it up with that one. That one's like, you know what, we're going to go all out with this. We put the apron strap on the back of the neck. We've put an angled chest pocket for your pens and stuff like that. We've put the custom MEE-CHef buttons, so metal buttons that go along with it. We have a single buttonhole that is red, so to show our red line standard, so everything goes through the red line standard.
I'm Mary MEE-CHef, and you're listening to the Kitchen Confession Podcast.
Today I'm talking with Mitchell Felice. What about MEE-CHef, the name? Where did that come from?
So Meech is like my nickname. So my friends call me Meech, and then F is Felice for my last name. When you look at it, it reads Meech and then F. And it kind of like worked in. It's all about like, you want to be happy wearing the product that you're getting, you know, like, and it has to symbolize yourself. So we like to bring and design things where people are actually need it.
When you decided on MEE-CHef, what was it like during the startup? What was it like creating this brand from the ground up?
Well, I thought I was going to get off the ground with $5,000, and that clearly didn't happen. That was like, oh,
Sorry,
okay, that was like
I'm
the first
laughing.
week, and I was like, oh, like, now what, you know? So it was definitely like a rude awakener, and like I couldn't quit my full-time job right away. So that kind of sucked. But that's with any like successful business. Like everyone's like, it's a grind. Everything's a grind. Like you're gonna do it, you're not gonna do it. I was working at Toronto French School at the time, and I was like in the evenings and nights, and I was just exhausted from all the events I was doing during the day and stuff like that. Trying to start this brand, trying to create a path and get this moving, build the website, change this, change that. Like, what do people think about this? What do people think about that? And people recognize.
Don't you end up questioning a lot?
Oh, you question everything.
Question yourself.
I'm indecisive, so I'm
everything.
the worst. I'm the worst. I'm always questioning myself. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? And then you think about it, and you're just like, if I just had that original thought that I was gonna do, and I should have just done it, I would have been 10 steps further. Wouldn't have spent like those 3 hours thinking about it. And I was right in the first place.
Yeah.
So like second guessing yourself because you've asked others that have no idea what you're doing.
Right.
And you just want someone to like give a helping hand, but like there's no one really to answer those questions for you, because it's like, this is you, this is your brand, this is your lifestyle. So building the brand was interesting. I like to be different, and I like to be sometimes too much out there. But then you look at the target audience, and they're just like, they're not educated on like this like futuristic type of product or fabrics or styles or whatever. And then you look at other markets where it's like, you look at the European market where it's like, they're ready for it. And you got to really figure out like how you're going to start at your home base and work out from there.
Yeah.
You know, like home base being like Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you know what I mean? Like, and just work out from there. Like we sell to Canada and US, and it's different, like different people, different things that they want, completely like, you know, Canadians want things simple and crisp and clean. And you go to the US and they just want funky colors. They want the coolest things. They want different, they want grommets, they want metal clasps. They want everything. And it's just like, wow, this is kind of interesting. Like, and you hit both, I guess, target segments. Same industry, but completely different people, completely different wants. And it's fun. Like you get to, I love customizing things. So I like when people ask me to do custom aprons, and that's what we specialize is a lot of custom apparel. And I'm just like, yeah, bring on the challenge.
Do you do personal embroidery on?
Yeah, so we do all kinds of embroidery. Like I actually did one the other day where it was for this gentleman, Chef Dwayne Keller out in Washington, DC. And he's at a country club, and his father was on the first five hockey team, and he wanted like a tribute jacket all on him. So we basically put his name on the shoulder, we did the Canada flags and stuff, and then we did his number on the cuff and everything. So we customized it for like, this is it. And he just like went nuts. Like he called me this morning, like, Mitch, this is like the best jacket, like send me 5 more. Cool. Like he was going nuts. So he's been like a supporter since the beginning. So I was like, I wanted to give him something special, and that's what I did for him.
You know, if you had to tell young Mitch, knowing what you know today.
Oh man.
Young Mitch. I had to give him advice, even one piece of advice.
Advice?
What would you tell him?
Probably not to care what most people think. To just live by what you think is correct. And because at this point I've realized that I was correct. And then it's like, I could have done that 10 years ago. Trust your gut. Yeah, you trust your gut. It's really what it comes down to, and not letting people portray what you're doing and what you live by and what you stand for, and negative energy, just eliminate them. I'm like all about energy, and if I don't have your energy, like, see you later. Like, you are out of my way and I don't want to talk to you, and that's it.
I don't think any goal is a ridiculous goal.
Yeah, like some people, see, I think everything is achievable. I agree. People look at me like I'm crazy, like trying to hit these ridiculous goals. And I'm just like, yo, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't care what you think. Like, work-life balance is a bunch of BS. Because like, if your work and your life is not the same thing, then you hate your life. That's not work-life balance. And interesting take on it. And that's where I look at it. It's like, I've left jobs where it's just like, hey, I want to change something, and just change. Done. Like,
so you're the only one that can make that change for you.
Yeah, and someone's not. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to do it for you, and you just got to make the decision and be like, and stick to it. Stick to it. If you don't like something, if you don't like your job, you don't like this, you don't like that, change it. Change it.
So what's next for MEE-CHef?
MEE-CHef. Honestly, what's next and what my goals are is like to be in this location for 1 year and get out and move into a big warehouse.
So growth.
Yeah, growth. like extreme hyper growth. That's what I'm pushing for. Like I don't sleep, but that's because I want hyper growth.
And that's another thing you were mentioning. You moved the business because now you're in a larger workspace.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a new studio.
We were running out of like 3 studios, basements. We had storage everywhere, and it was getting out of control. Like we got an embroidery machine and like trying to storage that and everything. It was just getting out of control and pulled in too many different directions. So we tried to like narrow it down, put it all under one roof. So we got a new studio coming in. And we're setting up like a whole backyard with a whole kind of like venue space. So it's going to be able to like, we want to bring chefs in, network, have barbecues, have beers, like keep it local, keep it fun. You just want to bring everybody under one roof and just have a good time and not worry about anything. And that's
and
how we want to
support
set
one
it
another.
up. Yeah,
Supporting
exactly.
local is huge.
Exactly. So we keep it tight and move forward.
So the show's Kitchen Confession.
Yes.
And it's all about sharing that one confession.
Oh, I didn't even know. Now you're like putting me on the spot. Like I have tons of terrible things to say, but I can't say it.
Oh, come on. There has to be something you could say.
Okay, so I'll share one with you. So I was actually I don't have it on my resume or whatever, like LinkedIn or whatever, but I was a cake decorator for Loblaws for 3 years. So I was like 16 years old, cake decorator, and so it was like, I guess it was my 18th birthday, and my mom comes in, she's like, okay, Mitch, like, can you just write on your cake and like, happy birthday, Mitchell, whatever, and I'll take it. So I'm like, okay, great. So I write on it, whatever. And I was like, I'm very anal about things. So I want things to be perfect. So I write on it, whatever. It comes home, like, we're going to have a happy birthday. I spelled my name wrong. So I have like 50 people here looking at me, and they're just like, oh, Mitchell wrote his own cake, whatever. And I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I wrote my own name wrong. I missed the C. And I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, I'm so special. Like, I never messed up anything, anyone's name or anything like that. Never had an issue. I used to spell congratulations wrong, but that's fine.
Yeah, for your own name?
On some people's things.
Beautiful.
On my own name?
That is beautiful.
Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, rapid fire. Name 5 foods you keep in your fridge at all times.
Broccoli. Love broccoli. Rapini. Beans. Sriracha. Is that a food? I don't know.
Sure.
We'll count it.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with eating peanut butter. I love peanut butter.
Music in the kitchen?
Definitely.
Always. Do you enjoy more finger foods or fancy foods?
Finger foods.
Yeah, I agree.
I like to have fun. I like to talk to people.
Very laid back. Favorite meal?
I'm a huge risotto fan. I've made risottos that are like from sweet to salty to savory to like desserts to, I don't know. I love risotto. I had a problem at one point where I was just watching risotto competitions. Yeah, and these guys from Italy would bring their water from their hometown to make risotto. And yeah, and they had like these really cool pans and like these, I don't know, kind of like a stock type of pan, and they would just shake it and it would just like shoot like 5 feet up in the air and it'd fall back in the thing, and it would make it like extremely creamy. I never understood how they did it, but like they would just hit it a certain way and it'd shoot up this risotto and fall back in the pot. Yeah.
And it wasn't just for theatrics. It was more like that. There was a reason for it.
This is a reason for it. Yeah.
Wow. 3 favorite herbs that you cook with.
All the time. Thyme, definitely. Rosemary. And probably say parsley.
Favorite kitchen gadget?
I would say is probably the mandolin. And my least favorite is those stupid tomato coring things.
I saw that for the strawberries. It's the same thing for the tomato?
Yeah, it looks like it's round. It looks like a spoon
with little rigid edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. Okay, now ask everyone this question, so I have to ask you. Justin Timberlake brought Sexy back. What would you bring back?
Oh my God. What would I bring back? Bring back shoulder pads.
No, you would not. No, you would not.
Those are probably the funniest things. Those shoulder pads. I think they didn't last very long.
Put them in the MEE-CHef jackets.
It's so funny. When my mom was in, I guess, fashion design school when she was younger, she actually kept like her, I guess, project clothing, and one had shoulder pads, and my buddy Mike, he would put it on him. It was like a fake leather, red leather type jacket. It was a women's, and we put it on him and he wore it to the club. Like he wore it, like it was so weird. It was so funny, but so weird. So definitely those shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads are coming
Bring
back.
them back.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. This has been so much fun. But I want our listeners to know where they can find you and where they can place their orders for some of the fabulous MEE-CHef attire, gear, everything.
So you can definitely find us at MEE-CHef.com, and you could find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at MEE-CHef, and you can find me at Mitch_MEE-CHef. So it's easy to find me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on everywhere. Like, you can search me up. People probably have great and bad things to say. So yeah, definitely. And now I've actually started a new company called Green Paw. So you find us at Green Paw Canada, which is all Canadian-made medical scrubs and lab coats and medical attire.
That's awesome.
So a new brand coming out, and that will probably be launched within the next week or two. So
incredible. And that'll make it on your site as well, right?
Yes. So that'll make it up on my site. So there'll be a link where you can kind of find that as well. And yeah.
Perfect.
That's what we're doing now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I had a great time.
Definitely a pleasure.
Kitchen Confessioners, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I can't tell you how overjoyed I am to be able to share these stories with all of you. Thank you for listening in and sending you all a pinch of patience, a dash of kindness, a spoonful of laughter, and a heaping tablespoon of love. Connect with me at kitchenconfession.com. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and receive free recipes directly into your inbox. I'd like to thank producer and editor Matt Agnew, and our music today came from taketones.com. See you at the next episode.